Hi guys, I last month introduced Lenormand readings for February, March, and this month I'm going to do March and April for Gypsy. Some believe that Gypsy cards are actually the evolution of Lenormand cards. There are actually 52 cards in a deck versus 36 in regular Lenormand deck. So I'm going to do the grand tableau with all the cards on the table, where it's going to give us a whole bunch of situation and kind of possibilities, and it could be your story. It doesn't have to be your story because the energies are here from everybody who are actually viewing. So just keep in mind that the cards have their individual meanings, but interpretation of the cards in this big spread requires a deep understanding of how adjacent or associated cards influence the interpretation. Also, guys, take advantage of the two promotions, annual Taroscopes and right now it's a great time. They're right now on sale, so you're getting one sign for $10 and all signs for 20, so you can check somebody else, or you could check your ascendant and Venus sign and Mars sign. So this is a great opportunity. But the best part of my special is my speed up promotion, so you are not waiting 3 weeks anymore for the readings. So I'm actually upgrading whatever the term was before, so 3 weeks is now 1 week, so becoming a rush reading, and the rush reading, which was week, is now 3 days. And if you really want an urgent reading, you're going to get it within 24 hours, and if you're North America, most likely the same day. So guys, check my website www.cattarot.ca for more information. You can also find me on Instagram and on Facebook, where I actually also publish daily Taroscopes. So let's jump in. Hi Libra, and welcome to your Gypsy Oracle spread for March and April. So let's just jump in. Again guys, this is a general reading, and unlike Lenormand that kind of shows us the lay of the land, here we have people, and people have thoughts and people have emotions. So what a nice, beautiful way to unearth what's going on, what somebody's thinking, what can happen, etc., etc. So we have a few main significators, which any of them can be you. You don't have to go with the wife. That's just the person who has to be married and has a child. It's the lover, who could be a single man, but it could be a single woman, or it could be somebody who is like on a prowl. Then we have the sweetheart, which could be a single woman, and again somebody who is kind of like stepping out. And then we should have the Lord hiding somewhere from me. Lord, I'm like a zombie, because you're seeing this. Here he is. You're seeing this in a few seconds, but this is taking me almost like good 4 minutes to lay it down. So that's why I'm not a big proponent for shuffling when I'm actually doing this, but at the same time some of people really like to see that. So here you go, the best of the two worlds. So let's kind of like jump in your reading, because right, I'm kind of like seeing lots of interesting things, and especially I really like to do this reading right now to cover the entire Mercury retrograde, because as you know, this is the period when kind of like we do get access to sort of like come back to us, and if it's real, it stays. If it's not real, it doesn't stay. So first we have this lover over here, and it's kind of interesting. There is like melancholy, there is the service, there is young woman, the room, consolation, despair, child, and falseness that is sort of like immediately surrounding this person. So something is definitely not working out. There was like some kind of issue, some kind of like ground, maybe possibly shaking thing about something from the past, and something that we truly kind of like believed in and we were adhering to. Well, this is for some of us, right? Kind of like kind of like shook up, because you see he is knighting the wife over here. So I'm wondering if for some of you certain things are just falling apart, because especially, like, I mean, the wife has the death right next to her, and the death also is knighting the wedding card over here, and also the wife has the enemy. So it looks like to me this is a third party situation over here. There's like one party who has lots of fun. Look at this, we have the joyfulness and we have pleasure seekers, right? But there is like somebody who is like really waiting. It's kind of like really weird situation. The person you want doesn't want you back, and somebody else wants you that you don't want. They're kind of like really, really complicated. But then again, Libra, very, very interesting, right? So it is kind of like also very puzzling for me what I see over here. I see the prison, I see the love, I see the wedding, I see the priest, I see the hope. So is somebody stuck in a relationship? Is it maybe somebody's trying to get over something from the past? Maybe something from the past is still lingering, and it's kind of really hard to move forward. Like there is like definitely need and tendency to move forward. Another thing that is kind of really interesting is like we have the foe and enemy right next to each other, which again, it could be us. It could be exes coming through. It could be that we are finally stepping out and doing things we wanted to do, or we are with somebody we want to be. But this also tells me about some kind of clandestine affair, and sort of like, look, she's waiting for somebody right over here. Absolutely. And then also we have the sides. It's like something breaking over that wedding card, which almost like it's in the center of the spread. So is it possible that for some of you somebody walked away or somebody moved out, and then this whole thing is coming back? Maybe certain things are not as easy to break as they seem. The longer relationships have lots of roots, and these roots, whether or not healthy, they are roots, and they hurt when they are severed. Whether you know you are the one severing them or anybody else, they equally bleed and they equally hurt. And whether one person is just getting a release and saying, okay, I have to get out of the situation, I don't love this person, I feel I'm trapped in this relationship, this is not serving me, but they're like still other things around. For example, there is like this young woman, which kind of like is in the same trajectory as the wife as well as the lover. So it could be that somebody stepped out of the union and decided, nah, I'm single, right? Which, nah, maybe they were single, but they also declared this is the end of the relationship. At the same time, because it doesn't look like, kind of like she maybe felt, or maybe some of you felt, or maybe this is your partner that this is like talking about. Maybe there somebody waited for a while, but ultimately kind of maybe resorted themselves into kind of like dating themselves and kind of looking in a different direction. Maybe all of these escapades are sort of coming to an end for both people, and maybe they're uniting, because look, they're like uniting in this wedding card again, and the wedding is right under these things. Only thing that worries me is the wife card is upright, this one is reversed, same thing here. So there is like a still something, there is like still some kind of obstacle, there is like still the element of something has to happen in order for kind of like moving forward, right? So this is kind of a card that is in original Vera Sibilla deck called Belvedere, and not only she's shown, like, I don't know if you can see it there. Let me try to see if I zoom it in, if you can see it better. Okay, great. So can you see how she's sort of like leaning it over? And let me actually try to even lift this up a little bit and see if it's going to improve or decrease, or neither. Oh, let's try it this way, right? So in the original deck, she has monocle that she is looking through with monocolor. Like, I mean, it's looking back at her. She's like holding it in a wrong way. So it's something myopic, something looking, and it's almost like illusion. It's kind of like reminds me of fairy tales. When we want some communication, we want love, we kind of chase somebody away, tell them we never want them to come back, but then we wait for them, and of course it never happens, right? So that's kind of like the dream world or fairy tale world, right? But at the same time, that's a positive card symbolizing basically anticipation or expectation. It's whether a person or something to arrive, and she's definitely hoping to reunite with someone. And it could be a little bit of vanity. It could be even that this is the third person who is maybe interfering, because I have the thief over here. Somebody taking something away. Somebody basically taking something that is not theirs and bringing huge misfortune. Especially to somebody who is married, because it's as much as we have the separation, we have wife and lover here, we also have Lord and the sweetheart there. So what is happening for this different type of Libras over here? Because definitely there are different storylines that I see here, because I have both thoughts and scholar, right? So there is like definitely somebody who is mulling it over some kind of issues and why certain happen, right? Because it also could be that, because usually the Lord, it talks about somebody who is a professional, and scholar also is talking about expert, connoisseur, but can be also a counselor. And I did see an old lady, where did I see it, who I also connect always to a counselor. Where did she go? And there she is, right? So to me it really looks like that somebody was going through therapy, or completely kind of like fresh kind of like lenses, right? Maybe somebody started to look at things differently, and the whole situation, there is like definitely conversation that is going on, right? So some kind of advice have been rendered for sure. You know, it's somebody who kind of knows the situation, and somebody who also understands the value of silence. That it's not somebody who, so it was somebody, not this person, but it was like sort of like third-party advice. And definitely when advisor steps in a relationship, that means there is basically crisis in the relationship, right? But when these people come, that crisis might be kind of coming to an end, and harmony may be restored. So the question here is like, if this actually person wants this to be restored, and this is definitely kind of like the scholar card definitely relates to Libras. It's early Libras, kind of like, I mean, timeline. What else to tell you? If there is a situation at work, like, I mean, you might need some kind of additional courses or some kind of education to go through, or you might become privy to some kind of information which you kind of have to keep to yourself, or you'll be in a situation that somebody's asked of you for advice, and kind of like you will give it to this person, but at the same time you will know the value of completely keeping it separate. So now the most interesting basically here is this situation where I see very little information. We have the friend reversed, we have conversation, and we have cheerfulness, and the sweetheart is reversed just like this person. So it almost tells me that these two people actually want to be together, because we do have merchant. We kind of like see people stepping in, restoring harmony. Again, looks like for those of you who are coupled, right, for one storyline, one couple person is saying, you know what, like, you play the field, off you go, bye bye bye. In the other storyline, there is like an effort looking into kind of like counseling, looking into kind of like, let's make us stronger. Let's see, we used to be a team, used to be a power couple. Let's think through it, right? Let's talk about it. Let's kind of like revisit this joy. But it looks like both of them are very lethargic about that. But like there is like a huge amount of people kind of indicating that actually they really want them to make this work. It is kind of a situation where looks like a trust have been violated, and it's kind of like really hard to rebuild this fabric, almost like it's torn apart to a point that maybe you cannot make a dress out of it anymore, right? So it is kind of like weird that one partner feels there are secrets in the situation, but the other partner feels like something has been taken away from me, and maybe almost thinking in terms of financial terms, because the gift and the thief over here, it's kind of like, am I going to be robbed from everything that I have earned? Because in this kind of situations, all things come to play. So if you're just fresh single, then maybe I would look into this card, young woman. And freshly single, it's going to be interesting because I still see duality. Some of you just simply don't want to date. Some of you are maybe facing some kind of problems. Freshly single. Maybe some of you are just simply finishing divorce, or wanna, again, I don't know how this is relating. This is definitely giving me a feeling of a divorce. But young woman is a single woman, but actually that can be also a child over here in this situation, because look at the death goes to the wedding and also the prison, and then we have the priest, which is kind of like conducting matrimony, but also in reverse, kind of like separating it. So let's talk about communications, because communication is kind of like very tricky during the Mercury retrograde. People are popping up that you don't want to pop up, or sometimes they do, they don't bring the information we are hoping for. So we have the letter reversed, we have service reversed, and the messenger reversed. So in terms of kind of like people from the past, it doesn't look like that they're going to bring us that hope that we kind of like are looking at from this kind of like gallery window. So just keep that in mind, that this is simply going to be time to go really deep. It is time to go to try to figure out what works best for you, not what not really like, oh, I need the sandwich, I have to get the sandwich. Sort of like, what is the kind of game plan? Where am I going? And I'm seeing that most of you will be repositioning things by taking things from many different corners. So it's going to be interesting to actually hear from you guys. And again, this is a general reading. Like, I mean, from your comments, I'm learning really what kind of situation that can kind of apply to. So just like drop me a note, a sentence or two. I would really love to know. And your comments are greatly appreciated. And so would be you if you subscribe, then you're getting my invite for the weekly readings, and then you know when I'm live. And if you like, don't even dislike, and follow me on internet on Facebook and on Instagram. That would be great as well, because there you get daily tarot as well. So thank you so much, Libra, for your time. And if you want your private reading, contact me via www.cattarot.ca. Thank you so much. Love you.